Hi everyone, I hope you're having a wonderful day. It's Mac and I'm deep in Wales at the Royal Welsh Show. I've been here before and this show is on par with any of the best shows in the UK. So come along, let's go enjoy this show today. There's so much to see and so much to do, so let's go. My first challenge was actually making it to the show. I had to get shuttled in because there was no close parking. That wasn't a problem. I've expected this. The Royal Welsh Show is one of the largest shows in the UK. The great thing about the larger agricultural shows, they incorporate a little bit of everything, and I'm inside of a beautiful floral marquee. Let's check this out. Magnificent floral displays here. The majority of this is actually live plants. There's some I can tell that are not live, but the majority does appear to be made with live plants. And of course, mixed with other materials. Here you have some barbed wire and a burnout stump. But again, this is an art display. So let's leave this section of the show. You have a lot of farm equipment. Like these are the fans that you put in chicken houses. Here's some ATVs. But we're gonna move along and see what else we can find here. I want to get to the more active part of the show. This is a bit more passive and I want to get to something a bit more active. Let's keep going. You know, I really enjoy seeing the kids ride the ponies. I've been thinking about putting my kids into something equestrian about the last year or so. I've just been thinking about it. And I think they're old enough. I don't know. Drop in the comments, let me know if you think it'd be a great idea to get them into something like this. I think it would be pretty cool for them to ride the ponies. I wonder, though, if they're a little too old. Some of these kids appear to be much younger than mine. Our Blake is already 12. So I don't know if they're too old or if they're too young. But I'm thinking about putting them into some equestrian riding. I think they would enjoy that. I've been there for a couple of hours, so I'm going to give them something to eat. I'm going to the chicken shed. Chicken strips and some fries, or chicken strips and chips. That's what I want. I was really impressed with the size of the crowd this year at the Royal Welsh Show. Every year it's always packed out, but this year I felt like it was exceptionally packed with a lot of people, although the weather was, well, I guess it was as Welsh as could possibly be. I would love to stay around to see more of the horse and carriages on display, but it's raining out here, and so I don't want my cameras to get wet, and I don't want to get too wet. So look for a shed or a building to get inside of, and go find the livestock, which should be indoors. I wanted a better view of the blacksmiths, but I couldn't get too close because there were so many people crowded around. Everyone was trying to get out of the rain and out of the sheds. So I stepped back out into the rain and got a good look at some of the equestrian horses as they came out on parade. The Royal Welsh Show really excels with the games. I missed the tug of war this year, but I did catch some of the rugby.
Oh, drop the shoulder there. And still play on. Can the Whites redeem themselves here with the ball? Yes, they can. And here they go again.
That's it. Took the legs, couldn't run without the legs.
Come on.
There's a few tired players out there at the moment. The space is sure to open up. Who's in possession? The Whites are in possession.
Does she get there? Does she get there? She's trying her best.
Go on. We're all willing them over the try line here.
They've got to release. Yes. Here we go. That's it. No.
Yay! Let's give them a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
I've been to some really great agricultural shows, and the Royal Welsh Show sits right at the top. That's why I came back again this year. There's so many activities here. It just seems more active than a lot of other shows that I go to. They're all active. Of course, you have all of the same things, but the Royal Welsh Show just really goes to the next level. Maybe it's the rugby, maybe it's the tug of war competition. I can think that's what really makes it, kind of sets it above some of the others that I've attended. A really great show, and I'm having a wonderful time out here today, but it has been on and off raining. I guess I'm in Wales, so it's been on and off rain, stop raining, rain, stop raining, and I'm just kind of riding it out. It wasn't even supposed to rain today, but you know, I am in Wales. So here are the tractors. I want to show you more of the tractors. I love to dig into the tractors to check out these old tractors. They're always so beautiful. But again, it is raining quite hard now, and I want to protect my equipment. So I'm going to continue to try to find a shed or someplace I could get into to get out of the rain. So I finally made it into one of the sheds here. I'm in a beautiful building, out of the rain, and right into the face of some magnificent Highland cattle. There's a nice little Highland calf right over there, tucked in with mom. It's a really nice longhorn bull and a much larger bull right beside it. So whereas normally I can walk through the animal pavilions and it's empty, you know, pretty open, but with the rain, everyone's kind of packed in here. But it's great because that means more people get to see the cows this year, and that's always great for the farmers. Here's another magnificent longhorn, but it looks like a great, let's see, first prize winning champion. Here's second prize. It's another beautiful bull. There's a lot of Highland cattle here. I'm surprised at how many Highlands there are here in Wales. I'd expect to see this amount up in Scotland, but there's a lot of Highlands here. Let's move on through it. That's a nice cow-calf combo. Here is a magnificent sailor's bull. I wish I had someone next to him. You can see how long this bull is. It has to be at least, I want to say eight feet long, maybe right at 3 meters. I mean, this bull in length is just magnificently long. May not be the largest, but just from end to end, this is a house of a bull. And here we are with the dairy cattle. That was a beef cattle on the other side. And in this pavilion, we have a wonderful selection of dairy cattle. You know, a lot of people think that to be a dairy cow, you have to have this spotted coloration, but that's just some breeds of dairy cattle have the spotted coloration. There are others, such as I believe the Holstein, which is a nice, just a dun brown color, so you don't get these spots. But the spotted cattle is a bit synonymous with dairy cattle. Here's a Bay of award-winning cattle. You can see almost every one of these have an award. And we've left the dairy cattle. We're back on the side with some more beef cattle. And you can really tell just by the shape of the body conformation. The beef cattle just look a bit blockier. They're bred to produce beef and not necessarily bred to produce milk. The dairy cattle have those massive udders, which helps them generate a lot of milk, whereas the beef cattle are predominantly been bred for muscling and marbling, so that what you're getting out of them is going to be different. Therefore, their look and overall body conformation is also different and very specifically unique. There are a few cattle who can go either way. You can use them for dairy or for beef. Actually, you can use any cow for either, but you get those best if you go with the breeds that are bred for that specific purpose. You know, everyone loves to say that Wales is known for sheep, and I want to say Wales should also be known for cattle. There are a lot of cattle here of different varieties. I'm surprised at how many cows there are at this show besides the sheep. I mean, there are multiple pavilions with cattle all back here behind me, and then on the other side, even more. On this side is also C6, C7, C8, and maybe even farther down, also all cattle. Just as sure as I said it, here we are with the sheep. You know, these agricultural shows are massive competitions. They're competing in almost every phase of everything that you see going on. And what I really enjoy personally is not seeing necessarily the competition, but getting a good look at the behind the scenes of the preparation, that last minute preparation that goes into preparing the animals that are going on display, the vehicles that's going on display. I love to see that last bit of preparation. The sheep is getting brushed down, getting ready to go out on the show.
Come on, let it go, let it go.
It's alright, it's fine. Go.
Talk about attending smaller shows because they're more intimate, but also these larger shows are really great because if you want to see the most variety, I think they have almost every sheep breed in Britain here at this show, so you can see the most variety within breeds and across breeds at these larger shows. This show has a lot of animals on display. Now, these are really impressive sheep. I love these black nose. They're just very fluffy. I guess they'll look different when they're sheared, but I love this shaggy look to them. If I was going to raise sheep, I'd have to have me this variety. These are the baby dolls. Both are really, really attractive sheep to me. Now, let's be clear. There are a lot of sheep here as well. This whole pavilion behind me is all sheep. And the pavilion here is all sheep as well. So I don't want to make it seem like there's not a lot of sheep here. I was just surprised at how many cattle I saw. But the sheep they're represented, I think, pretty well at this show. Well, this is a really tiny variety of sheep. I don't think I've ever seen this one before. Really small. And for those who would say, well, those sheep are not small, they're just young, these are the rams to that same breed. And they're not a lot larger than these two here. So yeah, this is a rather small breed of sheep. But they're rather attractive. I love the coloration with the brown and then the white face, the black. They're very attractive sheep. Just on the smaller side.
We've only got 29 seconds. Around the last one, shoulder goes little Nowie there. Who's the best in the field? Out the high leg goes little Nowie. Don't come up there and wonder leaving with Gunman. He's got to get back and then they get this job done. So the one off there, Johnny Reese is out there and standing the floor. Alan Evans up there to Alan Evans on 3.
Make some noise for now, ladies and gentlemen. Here's the support. And out he goes. Give all senior players a big hand, ladies and gentlemen.
Lowy Jones up there, starting the fire. Who's next? Dick Jones is on the shoulder.
So I can tell you, if you've never witnessed a sheep shearing competition, you are missing a treat. They are so exciting. I mean, I love it. The sheep don't get hurt too bad. They get sheared. And then the competition it just goes on and on and on. It's a really wonderful competition. If you ever get opportunity to go to a sheep shearing competition, get yourself to one. I promise you'll enjoy it. Even if you look at it on TV, if you can find one, sit down, give it some time. Sheep shearing competitions are premium sport. Oh, I love this because not many shows have pigs, but I can smell them from outside. I've reached the pigs. These are some really beautiful pigs. You just don't get to see them in many shows. Most of the time they don't have them out. These are some boars. Don't ask me to tell you how I can tell, but those are boars. I really enjoy raising pigs. I used to raise them on my farm there back in the States, and that was a wonderful experience. You go pick up pigs in the spring, and in the fall you take them for processing. You'd end up with tons of meat. That was a wonderful part of it. But also pigs could generate more pigs really quickly. And in 6 months, you can go from a piglet to something that can generate about 150 to 170 pounds of pork for you. So if you can start raising pigs, they'll really cut into their bottom line on costs for meats and things of that sort. I enjoy pigs, and hopefully I get a chance to raise them again in the future. When I did raise pigs, I raised a lot of Yorkshires and always tried to find Hampshires. Those were always hard to come by. Heritage breed in the U.S. and kind of hard to find. The taste is really great, though. A really wonderful pig if you can get them, but they're kind of hard to find. I don't know about here in the U.K. I think they have some different breeds, but those were what I used to raise. It's another breed that was very common to grow and raise when I was in the U.S., and that's Tamworths. Tamworths were a little easier to come by than the Hampshires, but they're a really great pig as well. They can get out and turn wild on you pretty quickly, though, so you want to make sure you keep them well contained. Wild boars are a huge problem in the United States. I've never heard of it being an issue here in the UK, but it's a huge problem in the US. And here's a British saddleback pig. So it looks a bit like a Hampshire to me, not quite the same, but that looks like it'd be a wonderful pig to raise. I don't think I've ever had much working and dealings with this specific breed, but I bet it would be a wonderful pig. So I noticed a lot of people were saying that it stinks in there with the pigs. I raise my pigs on pasture, which is a great way to reduce a lot of that smell. You won't have as much smell if you do it in pasture, but if you have them in small pens, enclosed spaces, then yeah, you're going to get a lot of extra smell. Pigs have to be handled the right way. You give them the proper space, water, and shelter, and you'll barely even notice that they're there. But that's all for the pigs. Let's go in and take a look at the goats. I've said it before and I'll say it again always. Goats are the characters of the farm. They are exciting, they're entertaining, they're almost impossible to keep in a pen, but you will never be bored if you have a goat around. And if you want to know how entertaining goats are, just Google happy farm goats or something like that or YouTube it. Go to YouTube and put in like happy goats or funny goats. Either one of those should get you down the track, a rabbit hole of finding a lot of really entertaining goats on farms. Not as many goats here. I would think that there'd be a few more, but I don't see quite as many goats. Nowhere near the amount of goats as there are sheep. Considering the amount of sheep and cattle that I've seen here, I'm surprised there's one nice pavilion here with goats. There's just not a lot of goats here. I was expecting a lot more. Maybe something close to the amount of sheep, but nowhere near it. But goats are still wonderful additions if you could add them to your farm. Let's take a quick walk through the Fur and Feather Pavilion. I like that name. Presume it's going to be chickens and rabbits in here. So there was plenty of fur in there and no feathers. They didn't have any chickens at all. No chickens, no ducks, no quail. I don't see a lot of fowl at these shows. I think they show them at different shows. But I was hoping to see some chickens or some chicks at the very least. But the rabbits were cool. Rabbits are always good. I like rabbits. I don't know much about them. I know people eat them. I know people care for them. But rabbits are nice. I had chickens. I know chickens. So there's another thing that I really like about the Royal Welsh show, and that's the fact that the show is bilingual. Typically, the commentators, they'll do the language in English, and then they'll do it in Welsh, or they do it in Welsh and then English. I don't know which one is coming first, but you get it in both. All the signs have Welsh and English written on the signs as well. And I love the bilingual nature of the whole show. Had to get out of the rain, but that helps because it gives me an opportunity to walk through this cool pavilion where you have a lot of independent vendors, I think, selling their wares. This is really cool. Just some nice t-shirts with some great graphics on those. Dependable piggy blinders. Wow, get it right. Okay, but that's really cool. And I just like Moody. That's really cool as well. I like that. I like that. Here's some jewelry for sale. Just different items. A lot of it is sheep themed, but that's not surprising. We are deep in Wales. And here's Purdy. I think that's trademarked. I've seen that company, but I saw it in Scotland at a county shop, at a farm shop in Scotland, and in actually North Yorkshire. I saw Purdy there for sale. I think it's also really cool. I think it's a nice brand. I don't know how large they are, but I have seen it in multiple places. I think it's just really cool. Purdy's Sleep. So I think the brand is growing. All right, here are some soaps. Just a lot of different things for sale. It's kind of cool to walk through these pavilions, to see these different fairs and wares that people have for sale. And at every show, they're going to be different. Every place you go to is going to be different. Like here, there's one, the Cutlery Lady, which is a cool name, but it's also very descriptive because you know what she's doing. She's selling cutlery. Great British Cheese Company. A lot of great cheeses for sale. Just a lot of different things, mugs, dairy products. Just take your time, go through the whole show if you got the opportunity, you have the time. For me, I'm concerned about having to carry a lot of this stuff out. If I buy a lot of things, then I have to carry it back with me to the car. It's kind of a long walk. Again, a lot of farm-based items, a lot of farm-themed items, tractors on sweatshirts, cows and sheep. It's really what you expect you are at what is equivalent to a really, really large county show. It's a Royal Welsh show. It's a wonderful selection of really cool ceramics back there. Again, I have to stay away from those because my kids will break them. A leather shop. That's really nice. Of course, I was expecting to see someone who does crocheting, and here's a nice little crocheting shop as well.
You've got to make the most of it. Yeah, plenty on.
Nice prints. Oh, here's someone who's doing wood burning. Some nice art skill. Just a really nice pavilion with wonderful wares. Cash only, but those blankets look really beautiful. Welsh wool blanket, double size. I really like the rainbow color one. This one is the one that I really like. I'm gonna go with this one, although it's smaller. But I do like it a lot. Oh, that's really cool. Look at those beautiful candles. I guess those are beeswax candles. Look at the shapes and designs on those. You know, I really can't trust myself when I come to these shows because I get into these pavilions where you have these handmade crafts and things that like this is made of wool, Welsh wool. I could not pass that up. So I'm going to try to get out of here without picking up anything else. I still have to carry this all back with me. Oh, and here are some honey vendors. So this is going to be Welsh honey. I would like to get some honey, but I have honey left over from last year that I haven't actually eaten yet, so I'm not going to buy any more now. So I've been at this show for several hours, probably 3-4 hours at least, maybe a little longer. And I can tell you, the Royal Welsh show, top tier, one of the best agriculture shows that you go to anywhere in the world. I've enjoyed coming here multiple years, and this year was just as fun as last year. So I made it to the woodworking section of the show, and I see something here really interesting. And it looks like a casket, actually. And I've been hearing about wicker caskets being more biodegradable. And it looks like that's what I'm looking at in front of me. Let's take a look at this. Yeah, that appears to be. Is this a casket?
Yes, it is.
Okay. I mean, I've heard about this recently about wicker caskets being more biodegradable or just
More environmentally friendly.
and more environmentally friendly. Yeah.
The willow is annually cut,
Okay.
continues to grow.
Okay.
Nothing is felled to make it happen.
Okay.
That number one, that's a regenerative thing, isn't it? A sustainability thing. You're not felling a whole tree to make it happen. And then the emissions from the willow, they burn very quickly if you're going to a crematorium. They burn very quickly and reburn. The gases reburn.
Okay.
And so that's really good emissions wise. And then they do break down to to nothing
Okay.
outside the body. There are no screws or glues in them.
No glues, no screws. Okay.
They're just wood.
Yes.
And yeah, so I think they are very environmentally friendly. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was hearing about that. Thank you. Thank you. So here is a different design. There's a bit more wool incorporated into this, and this appears to be a heavier wicker design. More environmentally friendly. Yeah. And I've heard the cost of burials are going up, so this may be something that people could consider as a good option. But it's definitely in the woodwork section. Wicker caskets, willow caskets. It's really interesting. And so, yeah, a lot of traditional woodworking going on here. So the willow wicker casket is something I've heard about as being more environmentally friendly, coming in at a much lower cost, and it breaks down completely, fully. The emissions are low. So if that's something that you're interested in, maybe seek that out as an opportunity. I was glad to get a chance to see it in person. I've heard about it, read about it, but I hadn't seen it. Let's see what else is going on here. Looks like there's another type of competition. Maybe the chainsaw cutting competition or the axe cutting competition. Hey.
Well done, everybody. Give me a big hand, ladies and gentlemen. That was short and sweet. Like a donkey's gallop there. Our down second and third was very, very close.
Before any climbing happens, I need to thank everybody that's been part of this process to get this show on the road. It's been quite a process through arguing with insurers, as I'm sure you can imagine. 3, 2, 1, go!
It looks easy. It just looks easy, doesn't it?
Isn't he make that? Oh, now that looks easy, doesn't it? Nelly at the top. Look at that. Well done, Nick. Spikes into the tree. As you can see, the difference with these spikes rather than the two spikes that Nick had. So he's now at 40 foot. Well done. Absolutely brilliant. Smile again. Smile.
This has been an exciting day. I've seen some things that I wanted to see for years. I never got a chance to see it. The guys climbing the pole and the lady that climbed the pole as well. That was awesome. And gosh, that pole is 80 feet high. I don't think I could do it. When I stood there and watched them at the top, I mean, you may not be able to tell on the video exactly how high they were, but they were above the trees. And one of those trees was an American redwood, which is taller than normal trees in this country. I'm telling you, they were really up high in the air. Looked really fun though for them. the day finished up, I decided to buy a paella to take home for Blair, and I love the preparation. This paella was made in these massive pans, and it was so beautiful and photogenic. So the day has been up and down with the rainstorms on and off, back and forth, but I really enjoyed the day overall. I got to see some things I wanted to see for years, never got a chance to see it, like the people climbing the pole. That was pretty awesome to finally see it in person. I love that. Hey, I love these county shows. I love these agricultural shows. I got to dig into Welsh culture a bit today, and I think that was exciting. If you like this type of content, you like these videos, be sure to like and subscribe. Leave a comment. Let me know which part you like the most. And until next time, take care.